Your people are losing the fight. So what if we fail? What if we can't escape his lies? What if we can't change? What if he still controls our minds? Where do we run? Where do we go? Who do
And now, Mike's Thoughts. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of all ages, welcome to NFL Trade Deadline. Welcome to the NFL Trade Deadline, where we are, roughly 2.5 hours, 3 hours away until the NFL Trade Deadline is come and passed. There are many teams that are trying to make some moves. We just saw Marcus Lattimore get traded to the Washington Commanders. We've seen Za'Darius Smith get traded to the Detroit Lions. We've seen Herbert I just read John's comment, get traded from the Bears to the Bengals. Teams are making moves. Teams are making pushes. But there are some teams that out there are kind of head scratchers. There are some teams out there like the Buffalo Bills saying, hey, if we don't trade said player, we're going to release said player. This reminds me of the Kansas City Chiefs and Dwayne Bowe back in 2015, 2016, whatever that was. The Kansas City Chiefs were trying to move on from Dwayne Bowe. The worst kept secret in the NFL. People are basically saying, hey, we're going to release him if we don't trade him, yada, yada, yada. What did they do? They ended up trading or releasing him, and then you don't get anything in return. So NFL general managers, NFL owners, people who make these decisions, do not come out and be like the Buffalo Bills and say, if we don't trade this player, we're going to release him. Don't be like the Browns and be like, hey, we're cutting Quentin Jefferson if we don't trade him. Like, why? Like, don't say that. That lowers the kid's value by so much. It hurts your organization in the end. It hurts him. Like let's say this news comes out. He doesn't get traded, but then he doesn't get cut. You're like, what? You're just I'm pity. Just don't do that. We have 3 hours until the trade deadline, or 2.5 hours, I should say. People are making moves, so don't come out and say, if we don't trade this guy, we're going to cut him. If I am a team looking for a safety and the Buffalo Bills are going to release him, why do I even want to talk to you? I'm like, I'll just wait till the waiver wire comes out. If he's there, he's there. If he's not, he's not. Like, come on, do better. But cue that intro. Are you ready for the best damn NFL show on the planet? Man Hour Nation, rise up.
Yeah, hey, let's go. Hitting that gridiron, we going hard, we running the plays. You know the vibe, only the strong survive. Gotta keep your head in the game. Talking NFL, uncut, straight raw, steady bringing that sauce. We about to take off, get it hype. This man, our sport talk. Yeah, from the quarterback to the lineman, everybody bringing heat. You don't really wanna try them. Hey, who gon' win? It's a battle of the giants. This show is the flyest. Nobody can deny it. This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception? This is Man Hour. Sport Talk. Man Hour. Sport Talk. What team you reppin'? We keep it interesting. Who caught another down? Who got that interception?
Let's go. What is up, Man Hour Nation? Michael Buckhouse here with the Man Hour Show to manhourradio.com. Check out the merchandise page or check out the blog section as well. But most importantly, guys, be interactive in the live stream today. A lot of things are happening. I do have my live stream tracker pulled up. So literally right as I was getting ready to push the go live button, I saw that Marcus Lattimore was traded for what was it, a fourth round or for a third round pick for Marcus Lattimore. Very, very good price for a very, very good player. But if you guys see something happening in the next 2 hours that we're here live, raw, and uncut, let us know. Let's talk about it. Let's discuss. If a trade intrigues you, let's talk about it. But we do got a great show for you lined up today. We do. Even though it is a lot of freestyle today, we do got a lot of stuff to talk about. It is Overreaction Tuesday, so we got to talk about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going for 1 point. We got it. We got to talk about Tampa Bay Buccaneers not going for 2. We're going to talk about that. The Dallas Cowboys, they're buyers in this trade deadline, but are they making mistakes? And the Minnesota Vikings. The Minnesota Vikings will not lose in the month of November or December. Slow it down, baby. We're going to talk about that on Overreaction Tuesday here. And of course, we're going to talk about the biggest news of the day, the team that I think has finally been pushed over the top, and that is Detroit Lions getting Za'Darius Smith from the Cleveland Browns. One of the worst kept secrets in the NFL, but the deal has finally been done. Finally filled that pass void as well. And then we're going to talk about this rigged NFL. We are going to talk about the NFL being, quote, rigged, right? We're going to talk about the NFL being favoritism to the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's dive deep into that today. But let's welcome some people in the chat. Before we get too carried away, let's welcome some people in the chat. We got my man John Pebbles in the chat. Mr. Pigskin Putty himself. What's up, John? Hope you're having a grand old day. He says, Zup. What's up? We got Sweet Caroline in the chat as well. Says, what's up, Caroline? Hope you're having a grand old day. Go Mules. She is from Central Missouri University, CMU. Go Mules. I was recruited there one long time ago to go play some Division II football, but I decided not to go. Decided to go Division I instead. We see Jay Jillian in the chat as well. He says, I do not think the Lions are done yet. So, Jay, let me ask you this question. You guys got your edge rusher that I thought you needed to be kind of put over and deemed into the Super Bowl favorites, right? Who else do you think they're going to go get? Is it going to be some more secondary help? Is it going to be like, I mean, really, when you look at the Detroit Lions, who do you need? Pretty stout team that you guys got there. But Jay says he does not think the Detroit Lions are done yet. I'm curious, Jay, who do you think they're going to add and why do they need to add them? Let's talk about that. Let's have that open discussion going on today. John is saying Dak Prescott's getting traded to the Carolina Panthers. Probably not. Probably not. Anything could happen, but probably not going to happen, John. But if you guys do see it come across the old ticker, I do have it pulled up as well. So if something were to happen, we will be talking about that. But Dak Prescott to Carolina Panthers, probably not going to happen. I'm just saying, John. Slow it down. Because we all know Dak Prescott's going to end up a Las Vegas Raider anyways. James Frank says, I told you Za'Darius Smith would be a Lion. I'm happy for him. And James, you were spot on. I mean, let's just be honest. It was one of the worst kept secrets in the NFL. My quote insider, right? The guy that I do the Lions show with every now and then they bring me on. And for some reason, they enjoy me talking about their Detroit Lions. But he's like, hey, we've known this for like 2 weeks that Za'Darius Smith is coming to the Lions. Well, why didn't you make that trade 2 weeks ago? But hey, it is what it is. And John People says offsides much. Who was offsides? Tampa Bay Buccaneers were offsides a lot last night, John. So I'm not for sure what you're talking about. But hey, it is what it is. Bucks should have went for 2. Still miss Baker, says James. We'll be talking about that on Overreaction Tuesday if the Buccaneers should have actually gone for 2. Euro African says, has you ever kissed a man? I have kissed a grown boy several times, and I enjoy kissing grown boys. But that's a dumb question. Isaiah Johnson says, Bengals on top. Isaiah, slow it down, baby. Let's wait till Thursday. Let's wait till tomorrow to talk about the Bengals. We'll be talking about the Bengals-Ravens tomorrow. Thursday night rematch. Humphreys is out there saying, or not Humphreys, Hamilton is out there saying, hey, we gave up a lot of big plays. We should have lost that game. So we're going to talk about the Ravens and Bengals a lot tomorrow. We're going to talk about them a lot tomorrow. But today, let's overreact here on this beautiful Tuesday. Let's overreact to some Week 9 stuff. And, of course, let's talk about this trade deadline that is happening. Trade deadline's happening. Mark Dees in the chat says, what up, Buck? What's up, Mark? What's up? Guys, join myself and Mark tonight as we do the NFL Week 10 Power Rankings. And I just want you guys to know, there's going to be some upset people. When I release my Power Rankings tonight, there's going to be some upset people. I'm still fine-tuning a few things here. See if I want to slide a team up or slide a team down. But let's just say there's going to be some upset people if I keep it the way it is right now. I'm just saying. I'm still staying. James Frank says, still rocking the retro Baker Mayfield's Browns jersey. I would be too. I want to as well. John says the Lions need a head-busting linebacker. They got that in all those white boys. Got my man WBN in the chat. Says, what's up? He says 1 hour and 20 minutes until deadline. And we'll be live all through that 1 hour and 20 minutes. So, guys, like, seriously, if you see something just like I literally just saw this, Mike Williams is just being traded to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Literally within the last 3 seconds, I've seen this come across the ticker. Breaking news, New York Jets are trading Mike Williams to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 2025 fifth-round pick. What? I mean, we all kind of knew that Mike Williams was kind of on the outside looking in once Devontae came into town. But then Alan Lazard went to the IR. I was like, okay, maybe Mike Williams will stay here. Pittsburgh Steelers have been looking for a receiver for a long time. They struck out on Brandon Ayuk. They struck out on Devontae Adams. They struck out on Amari Cooper, right? But now they finally, 4th time's a charm, they get Mike Williams for a 5th-round pick. Guys, this trade right here might be game-changing as well. As much as I like the Za'Darius Smith trade to the Detroit Lions, which we will be talking about that here very shortly, very deep into this, but this breaking news just came across the landscape here. Mike Williams to the Pittsburgh Steelers for a 2025 5th-round pick. So, guys, let me ask you this question. The people out there that are listening on youtube.com/manhour and, of course, facebook.com/manhour NFL talk. Does this trade move the needle for the Pittsburgh Steelers? I mean, they're already one of the best teams in the AFC. Definitely a top 3 team, maybe top 4. Definitely a top team. Definitely a playoff caliber team. Does this move put them over the top? Does this move make them better than the Baltimore Ravens? Does this move make them better than the Kansas City Chiefs? Does this move put them in the Super Bowl? And on hindsight, I don't want to overreact to it, but it is Tuesday. This is a game-changing move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is a game-changing move for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh Steelers go out there and get Mike Williams. Wow. Like, come on, right? Guys, this is huge. Ant, you being a Ravens fan, James, you being a Browns fan, the rest of the AFC, me being a Chiefs fan, we need to be worried. We need to be worried about this trade. This trade is huge. This trade is game-changing 100%. So let me know what you guys think about that. Let me know what you think about that. James is like, wow, it's a great move, James. Great move, 100%. WBN said Lattimore went to the Commanders. I like that for them. I do as well. We spoke at that breaking right at the start. So I saw that at about 120. I think that came across my old ticker. That is huge as well. James Berlin says, let's talk about Michael Thomas. We will talk about Michael Thomas if you want, James. At the end of the show, we do water cooler talk. We'll talk about anything that you guys want. But Michael Thomas is just butthurt. Let's just be honest. He is a little bit of butthurt. He's butthurt that he's not on an NFL team. He's butthurt that the Saints were doing well without him, and like now he wants to clap back because they're doing bad, right? And Mark says he hates Derek Carr. I don't know why he would hate Derek Carr. Derek Carr is like the most likable person in the NFL, I think. But yeah, Michael Thomas still doesn't have a team. He's still on the couch, as James says, right? He's still on the couch. He's still dropping his lips for some reason. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, he's just no team exactly. No, James says no. He is done, and no after his social media rants. Not sure any team would want him now. I mean, no team would want him before. That's why he is on the couch, right? That is why the Chiefs decided to trade for D-Hop and not go after Michael Thomas. That's why the Steelers did not elect to go after Michael Thomas, right? There's a reason why he is on the couch. I'm just saying, right? He is crazy. All right, guys, let's talk about this rigged NFL. So I've been doing Man Hour since 2022. 2022 was a decent NFL season, right? Yeah, we heard a little bit of chatter. Oh, the refs are cheating. The refs do this, right? But then last season, the whole narrative around the Kansas City Chiefs where the refs were this, the NFL is rigged and this and this and this, right? And now this year, it's even worse. Oh, the NFL is rigged. It's the refs are cheating, yada, yada, yada. But yet people still get mad about their team losing. So in the comments all day today, I have been trolling all of these people about saying, oh, the NFL is rigged, the NFLs are cheating, or the refs are cheating this and this and this. And I said, if you truly think that the NFL is like the WWE wrestling, why do you get so pissed off when your team loses? None of them could answer that question. None of them could go out and answer me that question. Why are you so upset if you know the system's rigged, if you know the Chiefs are going to win, if you know your team is going to lose? Why do you get so upset when your team loses? Not one person has been able to give me a direct, straight answer, right? Oh, you're just a Chiefs fan. Oh, okay, right? Yes, I'm a Chiefs fan. I've been a Chiefs fan long before this whole bandwagon thing. Like, stop it with that. Like, if you enjoy something that somebody's putting out, I don't care if you root for them, right? I don't have no allegiancy in the NBA whatsoever. I am a LeBron James fan. So I was a Cleveland fan, right? And then I was a Miami fan. Now I'm a Lakers fan, right? It's just fluid, right? You do what you like. If you like players, you can root for whatever said team. But that is besides the fact. The fact of the matter is that the NFL cannot be rigged. Now, there might be some collusion on the inside, trying to make said do this or whatever, but we saw that in the NBA. It got caught, and the dude sent like 15 years in federal prison. No NFL referee's going to throw away their life to rig a couple games, right? And if it is like WWE, there can literally be no betting on it. Like, stop. Like, use your common logical brain, and the NFL is not rigged. It is not rigged. It is not scripted. It is not any of this stuff. If it was, wouldn't you think there'd be a lot more like, oh, this person came from nothing and did this and whatever? Like, they would be blatantly blasting that stuff all the time. You would want people coming from Europe and Australia and making it to the NFL year after year after year. You would want somebody like Carson Steele that was literally a walk-on and then came up from a small town in Indiana, walked on to Ball State, transferred to UCLA to get a graduate degree. You would want him to have success in the NFL because, hey, middle America farm boy did this, right? You would want this. It is not rigged. Now, people that are listening in the chat, comments below, do you legitimately think that the NFL is rigged? Like, legitimately. Like, do not try to stir the pot or do this or whatever. Like, do you legitimately think the NFL is rigged? And if it is rigged, if you truly think it is rigged, scripted, whatever words you want to put in there, why do you get mad that your team loses? Why do you continue to watch it if you're just going to bitch and moan that it's scripted and like all this other stuff? And then on top of that, why do you continually try to propaganding that it's rigged and scripted, but you never try to like actually see actual proof? You just follow what people say. Those are the three questions that I want to ask. I'm just saying. James says it is only rigged if you are a Chiefs fan. So since I'm a Chiefs fan, I think the NFL is rigged. Is that what you're trying to say, James? James Frank says the NFL is not rigged. And James, logical brain speaking, it can't be rigged. It's stupid. You have 100 guys on any given Sunday, all on the same script, right? Battling for millions upon millions of dollars. The more said team wins, the more money you get, right? You get those big dollar paydays. Why do I want to lose? Why do I want to play bad? Why do I want to throw that game-ending interception? Come on. James says, with all that money Taylor is bringing to the Hunts, they can buy off the league. Oh, good God. So you're telling me, James, by Taylor Swift dating Travis Kelce, by Taylor Swift being a powerful influence, She is bringing billions upon billions of dollars to the Kansas City Chiefs before she was there. So you're telling me that the Kansas City Chiefs were broke, right? Before Taylor Swift came. Insert Taylor Swift, and now all of a sudden the Chiefs are rich and they can afford to buy out these referees? Fucking stupid, man. What? Come on. What? Jesus. Is that right tackle from Kansas City dead because he jumped on the Kessie Sealard? He didn't jump, John, but whatever. If you want to try to stir the pot, it's not going to work. I'm just saying. He didn't jump. Valid Browns got my heart, but I'm a cheer for Kareem Hunt and Mayfield because I have love for them. Exactly. We shouldn't even be speaking on that rig shit, says Ant. If facts, it's stupid. It's stupid. It pisses me off so much. I hate this rig shit. Mark, me too. And Mark said I would never watch football if it was. Let me ask you this though. Let's say the NFL is rigged, right? Obviously, Pop Warner is not rigged. High school is not rigged. College is not rigged. Why all of a sudden do they have to rig the game in the NFL, right? Why do all of a sudden, and on top of that, you have worked your whole entire life, literally 18, 19 years of your entire life to get to the NFL, then just like to take a knee? Like, come on. It doesn't work like that. Absolutely, it does not work like that. Joe Tana Salt is in the chat. That's a new name. What's up, Joe? He says it's not rigged, but you are delusional if you don't believe the officials can lean a game based upon a team that they want to win. I'm not saying that they can't, but they don't. I mean, we saw it in the NBA with the one Donahue guy, right? Obviously, NBA is a lot more easier to influence one way or the other. A foul call, travel call, this, whatever, right? And it would be good. It is disconnecting, it's reconnecting, it's reconnected successfully. So we should be good. Who the hell is going to outscore the Lions? True. Let's talk about some Lions, guys. Let's talk about the Lions. What's going on here? All right, guys. So I think the internet is back up. If you guys are seeing us live right here and you see the Super Bowl fades on the screen, give me a thumbs up and we'll be able to proceed because I don't want to talk about the Lions without you guys not being able to see it. It looks like the internet went up and went back down. So it looks like we should be good now, but give me a thumbs up. Let me know if you guys can hear me, talk to me, all that good stuff. But we had a little glitch. We should be good now. So thumbs up, yay, whatever. But we are going to proceed to talk about the Detroit Lions moving forward. So as you guys know, this is the NFL trade deadline. We are roughly 1 hour away from the NFL trade deadline. And earlier today, about 6 a.m., 7 a.m. this morning, East Coast time, the Lions have finally finalized the trade with Za'Darius Smith, filling that pass rushing void since Aiden Hutchinson has been gone. Since then, the Detroit Lions have kind of become neighborhood sweethearts, right? They've been kind of like the girl next door all season long. You bring in the Za'Darius Smith, bada bing, bada boom. They are all of a sudden the girl that you want. They're that sexy girl. They're the this, whatever. And I've been on statement, on record, I guess you can say, all for the last month or two, saying that the Lions are no longer Super Bowl favorites with Aiden Hutchinson out. They need a pass rush into this. They get up in Za'Darius Smith. So we got to ask you guys this. Are the Detroit Lions now Super Bowl favorites in the NFC? Are they going to go to the NFC championship game, win the championship game, and compete in the Super Bowl and potentially win the Super Bowl? As you guys know, I think this is a huge addition. They needed that pass rusher, and they needed the third down finisher. When it's third and long, they needed that guy to go after and get the quarterback and put him on the ground. If the playoffs were to start today, they would be playing quarterbacks that like to extend the plays. They would be playing teams that like to roll the pocket. They would be playing teams like the Arizona Cardinals and Kyler Murray, and Jalen Hurts and the Philadelphia Eagles, Jaden Daniels and the Washington Commanders, just to name the few. All very, very good teams, all very good players that can roll the pocket and extend the plays, making a pass rush very, very much needed, right? Because we know that the Detroit Lions like to play man on the backside. We know that the Detroit Lions like to take risk. We know that the Detroit Lions are going to press you on the outside, and hope that the pass rush can come out there and get you. But since Hayden Hutchinson has gone down, which when he went down, it was game 5, he had 7.5 sacks on the season. The rest of the team only had 6.5 sacks. In 9 weeks of the NFL season, the rest of the team only has 6.5 sacks. This is a huge thing. This is a huge. You need that pass rush, right? You need that pass rush. And if you guys believe in analytics at all, the ESPN analytics, per ESPN analytics, I had to go to their Twitter page and look this up. The Detroit Lions now have a 34% chance of going to the Super Bowl with this addition of Za'Darius Smith. 34%. The next closest, the Philadelphia Eagles at 13% and the Washington Commanders at 12%. However, don't be fooled. Eagles are getting beaten each and every week. The Philadelphia Eagles are better than they were 2 weeks ago. Better than they were last week. They're going to get better. That gap is going to close. And if you look at the past 6 weeks for the Detroit Lions, Jared Goff has played a damn near perfect NFL season the last 6 weeks. Hell, I think he has more touchdowns than he does interceptions. That will slow down. That will come back down to reality. So, with this addition of Za'Darius Smith, the Detroit Lions are flying high. Defense is playing good. Offense is playing even better. Special teams is even playing great. But does this make them Super Bowl favorites? Does this make them the team to beat in the NFC? And guys, I'm going to be deemed a hater. I'm going to be deemed a hater, but I'm just kidding. The Detroit Lions are the team to beat, guys. The Detroit Lions are the team to beat. Nobody is going to go into Detroit, Michigan right now and beat the Lions to where they're playing right now. There's no way, shape, or form with the addition of Za'Darius Smith of Philadelphia Eagles, Washington Commanders, Arizona Cardinals, San Francisco 49ers, whoever else NFC team you want to put up there's the Green Bay Packers, Chicago Bears, Minnesota Vikings, is going to go in there and upset the Detroit Lions. If the Detroit Lions play a B-plus game for the rest of the season, they may not lose. B-plus. They don't even have to play an A game. They play a B game, B-plus game. They're going to beat the Bears. They're going to beat the Vikings. They're going to beat the Packers. All of their divisional games. Look forward to the playoffs. They're going to beat the Cardinals. They're going to beat the Eagles, beat the Commanders, Buccaneers. It doesn't matter. Hands down, they're the Super Bowl favorites. I've been saying it for weeks. They need an edge rusher. They need an edge rusher. They need an edge rusher. Za'Darius Smith, people say, oh, he's over the hill. He's washed up, whatever. They were saying thing about DeAndre Hopkins too, only because he didn't go to their team. Za'Darius Smith is a game changer for the Detroit Lions. It's simple. Third down closure, pass rusher, going to go get the ball. So guys, in the comments below, let me know. Do you guys think the Detroit Lions are now Super Bowl favorites in the NFC? Many of you think they were before this, but now, does this really solidify that? Does it really come down and say, yes, they are them? Let me ask you guys that question. James says, we got you, Buck. Okay. Had a little hiccup on the internet, but we are good to go now. Thank you for that. James Frank says, Lions, America's team this year. I'll be cheering for them throughout the playoffs since my Browns can't do it. And I respect that, James. Your Browns aren't doing well. Why not root for a team? Like we all watch NFL games and we root for said team. Just it doesn't mean we're fans of them. We can root for them, right? And I will be rooting for the Lions as well. I do got my Adrian Hutchinson jersey. I bought it because I lost a bet, but it doesn't matter. Like I still think the Lions are going to do some work in the playoffs. I actually had them going 10-7 on this season, but then making an NFC playoff push, right? But with that being said, they're Super Bowl favorites now. They are 100% Super Bowl favorites. It is. Mark D says Detroit has been favorite all year. Slow it down, baby. Mark, slow it down. As I respect your opinion, only Detroit Lion fans have had them as favorites all season long. Only the Detroit Lion fans have been putting them up on this pedestal all season long. The rest of us have been realists. The rest of us have been like, okay, Jared Goff, let's see what you got. He started playing good. Last 6 weeks playing out of his mind, right? Hutchinson goes down. You're like, dang it. They need to fill that role. Now they have. Jared Goff is playing at an elite level. Will he continue to play at this near perfect level? No. It is bound to come down. Hopefully it's not for an extended period of time, but he is going to have a bad game or a average game or whatever, right? He is going to come back down to reality, and that is when we'll see the real Super Bowl-ness come out of the Detroit Lions. When they come out and they play, let's say they play the Chicago Bears and they play a C game, right? They play a C game and the game is just an ugly game, right? Jared Goff is like, I don't know, 18 for 30, 175 yards. David Montgomery only rushes for 60 yards. Gibbs is like 30, 40 yards, but the defense is still kind of playing bad too. If they can win that game when they play like that, then that would be really, truly Super Bowl favorites. Like at that point, like yes, I mean I think they're there now, but I'm kind of like on the fence. Like, well, the Eagles are playing good. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are still pretty good, right? I'm just saying, like, but right now they're on top of the world. They're on top of the world and they are balling out 100%. Ryan says, "Let's go." Ryan, you are a Denver Broncos fan, if I'm not mistaken. We'll be talking about your Broncos here tomorrow. So, is a frog ass watertight? Yes. Interesting. James says, not only are they the favorite, Goff is the clear-cut front-runner MVP. And James, I respect your opinion. Jared Goff is playing at an elite level right now. MVP level. For the last 6 weeks, 100%. But if you want to talk about MVP, if you want to talk about a true MVP, I feel like you could take Jared Goff off of the Lions, insert Hendon Hooker or any other quarterback, and I think the Lions will still be playing at this top-notch level. Maybe not dominating as much, but they'll definitely be playing at a top-notch level. If we're going to talk about MVP, we need to talk about Josh Allen. We need to talk about Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson's been nice. Derrick Henry's been nice. Jared Goff has been nice. I don't know. Maybe you can throw in somebody like, I don't know, Baker Mayfield. I don't know. But Josh Allen has been dogging, right? Josh Allen is the connection. WES says connection keeps fucking up. It says I'm pushing out 1 terabyte of data now, so I should be good. I should be good now. Hopefully it's on your end, not my end. Buck is a buzzkill. Yeah, I am. Corey Branner's in the chat says just have to say stay healthy now, meaning the Detroit Lions. When blowing out a team, putting your second and third players and stay healthy. Exactly. There should have been no reason why Aiden Hutchinson was in there versus the Dallas Cowboys. Let's just be honest. I'm just saying, yeah. Ugh. WBN says Lamar, he has more passing yards and touchdowns than Goff, not including the rushing yards. It's not a stat race. It's the most valuable player race. Who is the most valuable for their team? Josh Allen. Or Saquon Barkley. There you go. Saquon Barkley. Exactly. So Super Bowl favorite guys, Detroit Lions in the NFC. Absolutely. I think they are Super Bowl favorites. But are they the best team? You can be Super Bowl favorites. You can be top of the NFL power rankings. You can be this, and this. But are you the best team? Are you the best overall team? Can you beat the Philadelphia Eagles? Can you beat the Kansas City Chiefs? Can you beat the Baltimore Ravens? Can you beat the Denver Broncos, right? Can you beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers? When we look at the Detroit Lions, guys, we have to ask ourselves, yes, they are Super Bowl favorites. Yes, they're on top dog. They're on cloud nine right now. Excuse me. But are they the best team? Are they better than the Kansas City Chiefs? And I've been trying to justify of not saying that they're the best team. I've been out there trying to find a poke holes in where they could improve, right? Quarterback. Right now, Jared Goff, easily the best quarterback in the NFL. Playing at an elite level, top notch. Last 6 weeks, like I said, more touchdowns than incompletions, right? Doing his thing. Running backs. Best 1-2 combination in the NFL. You take David Montgomery or Gibbs off of that, off of that team, they're struggling, right? Best Sonic and Knuckles, right? I think Jay calls them. Best thing ever, right? The wide receiver core, kind of a bunch of underrated, no-name receivers, but yet they have one of the best receiver cores out there, right? Defense, flying around, balling out. Special teams, even better. Guys, the question is, are they the best team in the NFL? Can they go out there and beat every team right now? And truth be told, if they played the way they played against the Green Bay Packers, yes, the elements were there. Yes, it was a little sloppy game, but they come out, they balled. Defense held them down. Jared Goff didn't make any mistakes. They rushed the ball well. They made the plays that they need to play. They didn't have any negative plays. If they continue to do that over and over and over and over again, nobody's going to beat them. The answer to this question is yes. They are the best team in the NFL, period. Take out coaching, player-wise, personnel-wise, they are the best team in the NFL. The only downfall that I see for the Detroit Lions, right, is history, right? You can never, I know it's new culture, new general manager, whatever. You still have the team's history, right? The fans in the back of their head still have the history. But the only thing I'm worried about for the Detroit Lions is the decision-making of Dan Campbell. It's simple as that. Stop making stupid-ass decisions on fourth down, and you will be a Super Bowl caliber, or you will win the Super Bowl. They are the best team in the NFL. It's simple. Better than the Chiefs, better than the Ravens, better than the Buccaneers, better than the Cardinals, Eagles, Commanders. They are the best team in the NFL, period. I got to give it to them. They're playing top-notch. Are they the best team? James Frank says, yes, sir. They are the best team, guys. And I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. I know what good football looks like. They are the best team. WBS says they're the best team, but Goff is not the best quarterback in the league right now. Slow it down, baby. If Jared Goff is not the best quarterback in the league right now, who is? Are you putting Lamar Jackson up their ant? He did have his fourth perfect passer rating game in the NFL. I think that's the best ever, right? Or the most ever. Lamar Jackson is playing top notch, but he's putting up he's no Jared Goff. Lamar Jackson, you take away Derrick Henry, he's probably a shell of what he has, right? I mean, I guess you could probably say that about Jared Goff too. You take away Jahmyr Gibbs or David Montgomery, probably not as great. Like, I get it. And Jared Goff is top notch. I mean, and honestly, right now, if you look at Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, you could put those three in any three orders, and I would not have an argument. Honestly, if I'm being honest, speaking truth to you, Ant, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, you put them any 1, 2, 3 order, I would not be upset with that. They're all playing very, very good football right now. James says you have to take into account that that was a dome team when they went to Green Bay, and they did that in those conditions. Exactly. And right now they're probably they will probably get a first seed in the NFC. They won't have to play outside in the playoffs. They don't have to worry about snow or rain or elements, right? Hell, the Super Bowl is in the dome too. Like, the Lions may not even have to play outside for the rest of the season. They're a pretty good team. Bucks, stop it. Never. Would they say weather don't matter? We talking all the what ifs. Like the Postal Service, deliver rain, sleet, or snow. Not wrong. Ant says, we ain't doing this today. I'm taking him over Allen and Goff. Taking Lamar Jackson over Allen and Goff. Listen, you could put him at 2, and I would not be mad. You put him at 1, would not be mad. Lamar Jackson is balling out right now. My man Drew's in the chat who says, what's up, Druck? What's up, Drew? Hope you had a grand old day, man. Be safe at work out there. Hopefully you got your vote on. But the question is are the Detroit Lions the best team in the NFL? John says, but all 3 of them are hot and cold in the playoffs. Not wrong. Not wrong, John. John bringing some logic into the chat today. Somebody better get this man a beer now. Get this man a beer now. But we've been hyping up the Lions. Greatest trade ever. Za'Darius Smith made them a Super Bowl team ever. They're the best team in the NFL. They're not going to do this. They're not going to do that. But we have to ask the what if. We have to ask the what if. What if they do all this work, all this hype, all this propaganda, whatever you want to call it, and they don't make it to the Super Bowl? What if they do all this work, all this hype, all this money to get to the Super Bowl, but then they lose the Super Bowl? What if? What if they do not win it all this season, meaning the Detroit Lions? Guys, we got to ask the question. What if they don't win it all? What happens? For one, they're going to blame the refs. Let's just be flat and honest. If they play the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl and they don't win, it's going to be Taylor Swift. It's going to be the refs, and the NFL is rigged, right? Boom, 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 right off the bat. But obviously, I'm a logistic thinker, common sense thinker. Use my own head. Don't follow the sheep. Don't follow the crowd. If the Detroit Lions do not make it to the Super Bowl or win the Super Bowl this season, I am seeing a 2025 hangover. If the Detroit Lions do not win it this season, we are going to see a down 2025 NFL season. We've seen it from teams before, right? Hell, I believe I saw a stat at one point, the losers of the NFC Championship game historically do not make the playoffs the following season. The Detroit Lions could break that curse, right? Could get into the playoffs. Right now, they're obviously going to be the number one overall seed. They definitely don't make it to the NFC Championship game. They could break that curse again, make back-to-back NFC Championship games. But if they lose the Super Bowl, I'm seeing a down year for 2025. I'm seeing a lot of we just aren't good enough. We're a little bit of this, we're a little bit of that. And I understand Dan Campbell's got the grit, the work ethic, this. But at the end of the day, he said it best last season. We may not ever get here again. Meaning, you guys better work your asses off, because if you want to be here again, if you want to enjoy it, you got to work hard. But 49ers, right? Back-to-back Super Bowls. Losses to the Kansas City Chiefs. This season, kind of like, right? So the question is, guys, what if the Detroit Lions don't win the Super Bowl or make it to the Super Bowl? What if? What if? Let me know what you guys think. James says, either way, I ain't going to be mad. We either see a three-peat or see the Lions get their first championship. And James, I'm going to take it one step further. I am a Kansas City Chiefs fan. Not going to deny that one bit whatsoever. But I do not see the Kansas City Chiefs making the Super Bowl this season. I do not see the top teams in the NFL making it to the Super Bowl this season. There are a lot of cracks in these top teams. They are being held together by a nice, solid foundation, but once you take away that first or second layer, there's a lot of cracks, there's a lot of exposures in there, right? Obviously, the Detroit Lions are one of the best teams out there, and it would be great to see them win their first championship. It would be great to see them win the Super Bowl, right? But speaking from the Kansas City Chiefs fan base here, or a realist, they have a lot of cracks. They have a lot of issues. It's being covered up right now by winning nasty games and finding new ways to win, new ways to repair those cracks. But at some point, those cracks are going to show, and I don't think the Kansas City Chiefs are going to make it to the Super Bowl. I'm just being honest. Drew says it's possible that they could lose, no matter what. The number one rule in football is any given Sunday, except for when they play on Saturdays and Wednesdays and Thursdays and Fridays and Saturdays and Mondays, right? John says, you're right. The Lions can't beat both the refs and the Chiefs. Good Lord. Good Lord. Ant says, James Frank, you don't really mean that, do you? He does. James is full on the Detroit Lions bandwagon right now, Ant. Mark C says, KC will not go to the Super Bowl. I can't believe Buck actually said that. And listen, I am a realist. And the realist in me saw Kareem Hunt slowing down a little bit last night. The realest in me saw Kareem Hunt not quite be quite explosive. Yes, he's carried the ball 20 plus times, like 5 straight games, right? He's probably tired, right? And obviously when Isaiah Pacheco comes back at the end of November, maybe he might get that late season burst, not carrying the ball as much. But the cracks in the Kansas City's foundation is there. Patrick Mahomes is hobbled. Mark, I know we have a group chat happening, and I'm not going to say on air what you said, but truth be told, Patrick Mahomes is injured. I think Andy Reid says he has the loosest ankles in America or something crazy like that, right? I'm not for sure what he meant by that, but he seems like he always sprains that left ankle over and over and over again. Truth be told, they have flaws. They have flaws, and there's going to be a team in the AFC that's going to shock some people. But besides the Ravens, besides the Bills, I'm talking like the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm talking like the Broncos. I'm talking like a team. Who else? The Miami Dolphins might get hot. The Pittsburgh Steelers. There's going to be a different team in the AFC. Yep, and Mini KC Mo says, LOL, people said that about the Chiefs last 2 seasons, but okay. Yippin' KC Mo, I'm a Kansas City Chiefs fan. When the Kansas City Chiefs won their first Super Bowl, yes, everything was good. Great defense, right? Last year, they were carried by a defense, 100%. They were carried by their defense all season long. Life without Tyreek Hill kind of became apparent, right? Like, man, we don't have that number 1 receiver. Late in the season, what was it, week 13, 14, Rashid Rice finally started to emerge as that number 1 guy. Rashid Rice became that guy for the Kansas City Chiefs. But this year, right, Rashid Rice is obviously out. Worthy is not the number 1 guy. You have to make that touchdown catch. Wide freaking open, and you're worried about doing some magical running backwards into the end zone. Make the catch and get into the end zone. He's not the number 1 guy. D-Hop, playing great. I like D-Hop. The addition of DeAndre Hopkins was huge for the Kansas City Chiefs. Will that connection be there in postseason? To be determined. Juju, not the guy. Hollywood Brown may not even be playing this season at all. The flaws in the Chiefs are there, and it's starting to come out and haunt. I'm just saying. And then yapping and says, LOL, 8-0, baby. 8-0, sure. We've seen 8-0 teams, 10-0 teams not even make the playoffs. Or if they make the playoffs, they get blown out by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wild card game. I'm talking about the Arizona Cardinals, started off 10-0. Didn't even make the playoffs. Right? Philadelphia Eagles last year started 11-0. Got to. Oh, my bad. James says, here's the thing. KC is the only team that has a defense that could beat the Lions in the Super Bowl. They are. Exactly. If the Kansas City Chiefs do make the Super Bowl, their defense will definitely be carrying them, and their defense will be playing lights out, and it will slow that Lions offense down. Ant says, here's a better question. What team do you think could beat the Lions in the playoffs? Maybe Philly, or here's a sleeper, the Falcons. Big maybes. So teams in the NFC that can beat that can beat the Detroit Lions. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers get a receiver in the next hour and a half, right? I think 4 o'clock is a trade deadline. It is 2:30 East Coast time now. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers can get another receiver, they are dangerous. Their top 3 or top 4 receivers were out last night, and they took the Kansas City Chiefs into overtime. The Buccaneers, at full strength, beat the Detroit Lions already yet this season. So my first team that I'm going to throw out there is the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. If the Tampa Bay Buccaneers make it into the playoffs, the Detroit Lions do not want to play them. As simple as that. Falcons, getting better and better and better. But primetime Kurt. Until proven otherwise, I don't trust Kirk Cousins in the playoffs whatsoever. Falcons out. Eagles, been there, done that, got the t-shirt, and they're getting better. They're building that confidence. Saquon Barkley is the man, the myth, the legends. But I don't think their defense is built well enough to compete with the high-flying offense of the Detroit Lions. And their offense could not go toe-to-toe with them point for point. Buccaneers could. The Commanders. Addition of Lattimore is huge. We'll see how that helps them this weekend when they play the Pittsburgh Steelers in Week 10. But Commanders potentially. If the Commanders get the opportunity to play outside of a wild card game in a divisional game versus the Detroit Lions, they would be competitive. Depending on how much Za'Darius Smith is able to progress and be that guy that they need them to be as the third down shutter pressure of Jaden Daniels potentially. So the Commanders potentially. So two teams I think that could beat the Lions in the NFC playoffs: the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, the Washington Commanders. Because I think if it's an offensive shootout, both teams can go point for point. And if it's going to be a defensive shootout, I think they can go point for point as well. If that makes sense. And James says the Bucks. The Bucks can. Bucks are good. Mark D says there's a reason why teams have never won 3 in a row, because it's freaking hard. It's freaking hard, right? And then if you think about this, on top of that, Mark, not only do you have to win 3 Super Bowls in a row, you have to get there, right? You have to play, 9 extra games, 12 extra games, damn near a full NFL season extra than like everybody else. It's tough. Yippity Yiminy Casey Mo says, cool. Defense is decent now. Defense is great. Didn't play great last night, but defense is great. Lethal Weapon 3, Mahomes, D-Hop, and Kelsey. That defense, man, and the bound to go back to the Super Bowl. I hate to admit it, but those facts, you can plug in any running back. And Ant, I will give you D-Hop. I'll give you Kelsey. I'll give you that defense. But right now, Patrick Mahomes is not playing good football. He looks injured. He looks slow. And he kind of looks overwhelmed, to be honest. Kind of looks like, you know what? I'll turn it on when the lights get bright, right? Bobby Wagner is playing lights out for the old man. He is. You guys are correct. But biggest what if? What if the Detroit Lions do not make it? What if don't make it? So guys, let's move on. Let's move on to the topic that is Tuesday. Here on Tuesday, we do a thing called Overreaction Tuesday. Well, I've been scouring the old interwebs. I've been seeing what the people have been saying. I've been seeing what's going on in the NFL landscape and want to determine if it's an overreaction or if it's not an overreaction. And if it is an overreaction, tell me to slow it down, baby! And tell me why it is an overreaction. But if it's not an overreaction and you agree, like, you know what, Buck, you're right. You're on to something here. So, guys, in the comments below, let's play overreaction, underreaction here on this beautiful Tuesday edition of Man Hour NFL Talk. We are an hour and a half away from the NFL trade deadline. So if you guys see a trade deadline come across, just like Mike Williams did earlier, bada bing, bada boom, let's talk about it. But let's talk about this Overreaction Tuesday. Overreaction Tuesday. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers and head coach Todd Bowles went for 1 last night when many people are saying that they should have went for 2. Buck, what are you talking about? Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers lost in overtime to the Kansas City Chiefs on Monday Night Football. They had the opportunity to tie the game or win the game on a 2-point conversion after a touchdown late in the game, but they decided not to go for 2 and went for 1. They kicked the PAT, they tied the game, and sent it to overtime. In the post-game conference, head coach Todd Bowles said, it was raining. I wasn't very confident, so we went for the PAT, and we wanted to take them into overtime because I thought we had a better chance. So what if I told you guys that it was not an overreaction, that Todd Bowles made the right choice going for 1 instead of 2 versus the Kansas City Chiefs last night? So before we answer the questions, let's state some facts. Let's state some facts of the matter. The Bucs had a 41% chance to win the game if they would have went for 2. Not 50, not 60, not 70, 40% chance. They still would have probably lost the game if they would have went for 2 per ESPN analytics. And if you want to dive deeper into the analytics and actually just state the facts are that only 30% of 2-point conversions have been made so far this season. And if you even want to take it one step further, let's say you do go for 2 and you make the 2-point conversion, you have a 1-point game, and that whole second drive and that whole last drive for the Kansas City Chiefs is done over. it wouldn't matter because if D-Hop and Patrick Mahomes would have had another week together, D-Hop would have made that catch and they would have been in field goal range, and that game would have never went into all overtime anyways because Buckner would have kicked the 50-yard field goal in the rain to win it for the Kansas City Chiefs. And if you even want to take it one step further than that, teams that score last in regulation time in the NFL game, sending it into overtime, have a 62.3% chance of winning that game. So although the analytics said he only had 41% chance to win the game if he would have went for two, probably would have lost it. 30% chance of getting the 2-point conversion on top of that, sending it into overtime would have gave them a 62.3% chance of winning that game. So guys, is it an overreaction if I told you that Todd made the correct choice for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers last night? And the truth of the matter is being a Monday morning, Tuesday morning NFL couch coach, right? I can say that he made the right choice. I can say that he made the right choice. Sending the game into overtime at that point is 0-0. You have an opportunity to touch the ball. Kansas City Chiefs offense not being great, right? They have not scored over 30 points at all this season. Last night was the first time they scored 30 points all season long, and it took 67 minutes to do that. And the defense was playing well all night. Baker Mayfield was playing well all night. It was the right choice to send it into overtime. It was the right choice to get an opportunity to go into overtime because no matter if Patrick Mahomes goes down there and eats 9 minutes off of the clock, right? But they kick a field goal. You get an opportunity to drive. Whether the time runs out or not, you have an opportunity to drive down the field and score. It was the right call. So all of you Tuesday morning coaches, all of you armchair quarterbacks, it was the right call. In that situation, it was the right call because going for two is not guaranteed at all. 30% of the 2-point conversions this season have been successful. Only 30% of them. And then the ESPN analytics saying, you had a 41% chance of winning the game. On the flip side, you had 60% chance of losing that game. It was the right call. So guys, in the comments below, do you agree it was the right call or you disagree? Let me know. Politics. Imagine that. WBN says, true. Last night was Mahomes' best game of the season. I think he's going to tighten up, and I'm not betting against you. You never against Patrick Mahomes. Let's just be honest. Drew says, I believe it's going to be the Chiefs and Lions in the Super Bowl or Bucks. Casey says, just think about this. Chiefs offense is getting better, and now every game they do are getting closer to more and more to get the starters back. Facts. Casey Morgan says he made the right decision. Baker Mayfield made the wrong decision by choosing tails. And even then, it's a 50-50 shot, right? Better than 60-40. Ant says, not to mention, no defense in the AFC is strong enough to even stop the Chiefs' offense. The only way to beat them is to outscore them. True. KMT Vogs first says, I was at the game. Bro, it wasn't raining. It was definitely misting. So I've been to a rain game at Arrowhead, and on TV and out on the field, it's definitely raining, but in the stands for some reason it doesn't hit you all that much. I don't know if it's because of the overlays or the wind or whatever, but it was definitely raining on the field, 100%. John says, I heard someone very intelligent say the team with the ball last wins. Okay. Who was that intelligent person, John? Was that you? Which isn't easy to do there with that defense. James says, no matter decision Bowles made, he'll be blamed for making the wrong decision. Exactly. Todd Bowles is in a no-win situation. He has been on the short end of the stick many, many times in Tampa Bay. It's just crazy, right? Drew says, well, it's 6 and half a dozen of the other. Either he goes for 2 points, which is a 50-50 odds, which is not 50-50 odds, or he goes with the OT based off the coin toss, which is 50-50 odds. So, Drew, the 2-point conversion odd was 60-40, right? Per ESPN analytics, it was 40% chance they were going to win the game, 60% they were going to lose the game. And if you even want to go deeper than that, it was a 70% chance they weren't going to make the 2-point point conversion. But 50-50 odds in the overtime, give me those odds, right? James Frank says, Baker knew it was over when he said the heads. Yeah, he definitely was like, here we go again. Tampa Bay Buccaneers have not won an overtime game since 2001, I believe ESPN analytics said. So, crazy. But, guys, do you think Todd Bowles made the right call or not? Let me know. Now, this team. I just want to sit here and shake my head a little bit because this team is just ridiculous. This team is so irritating. I broke up with them last week, but yet we continue to talk about them over and over and over again. And this team never ceases to amaze me at this point. This team, we said yesterday on the live show, they need to sell. Trade Micah Parsons, trade Tolbert, trade Zach Martin, get all the old heads out and figure something out. We all were in agreement. We were all in agreement saying, yes, the Cowboys need to sell. Not one person said they needed to buy. But what did they do today? They went out there, and then they've been buyers on this trade deadline. The Dallas Cowboys have been buyers on this trade deadline. They traded for Panthers wide receiver Jonathan Mingo. In the same tweet, in the same breath, they send Dak to the IR. So, guys, is this an overreaction to say, if I were to say, this is the dumbest move ever? Dumbest move, not today, not this year, but ever in the NFL. Guys, the Dallas Cowboys receiver core has been injured as of late, right? We've seen Tolbert and other people miss a few quarters, miss a few games with some bumps and some bruises, right? We've seen Brandon Cooks go to the IR with his knee infection. I don't know what exactly. I think it was like a spider bite or whatever, but he had some type of knee infection. He should be back next week. And then you look into it, per PFF, the Dallas Cowboys have the 15th ranked wide receiver core in the NFL. Granted, that is no top 10 receiving core by any stretch of the imagination, but still a pretty decent receiver core, right? They're 15th, just behind 14th ranked Green Bay Packers. And I think the Green Bay Packers have a pretty good receiving core. Jerry Jones said he wanted to go out there and get Jonathan Mingo on draft night, but they missed out. So the Dallas Cowboys go out there. They traded for a 4th round pick for Jonathan Mingo. So far this season, we've seen top receivers, Amari Cooper, Devontae Adams, and DeAndre Hopkins all get traded for 3rd round picks. 4th and 3rd round picks, potentially 2nd round picks. Right around the 3rd, 4th round pick. So this tells me that Jerry Jones values Jonathan Mingo as one of the top old heads in the NFL. Guys, is it an overreaction to say that this was the dumbest move ever that the Dallas Cowboys should have made? This is not an overreaction. Over the last week, guys, not once did we say the Cowboys needed a receiver. Not once did we say that the Cowboys needed to be a buyer. Not once did we say the Cowboys needed to add any parts of this team. They needed to sell the team and rebuild. And what do? They go out and they waste a 4th round pick that could be season-changing pick to get a receiver that nobody has any faith in whatsoever. At this point, Jerry Jones is hanging on to what ifs. Jerry Jones is hanging on to names. Jerry Jones is hanging on to, I did this back in the 90s. It is time to trade everybody. Get Micah Parsons out of town. Get Zach Martin out of town. Get Brandon Cooks out of town. Get Tolbert out of town. Look for a shooter for Dak Prescott. Trade everybody. Get 15, 16 picks over the next 2 seasons and rebuild. This is dumb. This is not an overreaction. This is the dumbest move I've seen in a long, long time. Name me one person, analyst, fan, anybody that says, hey, we need to go out and get a receiver. That will make the team better. Who said that? Name me one person, and I'll give you $1. Not one person. The Dallas Cowboys fumbled this again. The Dallas Cowboys fumbled the trade deadline again. Like, come on. Come on. James Frank says they buying, ain't they? They are buying. They shouldn't be buying. They should be selling. They should have a for sale sign in the front yard. He's going to say something gay. He's going to say something gay. Jesus. James says Jerry Jones is starting to stutter or suffer from, I don't know what that is. Oh, Bidenomics. Too soon. Casey says, dumbest move? Just say Dallas and we would think dumb. One of the worst managed teams in the league. Jerry Jones needs to stop trying to be GM and just be the owner. Facts. Exactly what we said yesterday. Facts. WBN says the Cowboys don't even deserve to be talked about on this show. But yet we continue to freaking talk about them. I broke up with them. I said, it's 100% your fault while I'm leaving you. Not my fault. It's your fault. What we do the next 3 days, we talk about them. Because this is a stupid-ass move. John says Jerry is going senile. Casey says Dallas just needs a fire sale and get it all draft picks they can get. Exactly. And don't forget Trayvon Diggs overrated ass. Drew brings up a good point. They would have been better off with Michael Thomas. Probably. And Mark D with some breaking news here. He says he just heard that Preston Smith is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Let's see if I've seen anything about that. And yes, Mark, you are right. It says the Steelers are not done. They're trading for Packers veteran pass rusher Preston Smith. Interesting acquisition. I'm not for sure how he's going to fit into that mix, but hey, you need depth in the postseason if you are the Pittsburgh Steelers, right? Because they're going to be banking off that great defense. But what about the Green Bay Packers? Like, are they looking to add somebody to replace Preston Smith? Because I feel like Preston Smith was kind of the, the anchor of the front four. Like, what? And if my memory serves me right, didn't we say on Monday, that the Steelers might have the best 1-2 punch in the front four with Highsmith and TJ Watt? And then you add Preston Smith? Makes me wonder if somebody's injured. Drew says garage sale at Cowboys Barn Stars. Jeez. James says it's because it's your ex and you still care about it. You're just toxic, bro. I need some counseling. Yeah. Very narcissistic, right? Needs to be all about me, all about them, and they keep dragging us in. We just need to cut it cold turkey. We need to block him. We need to delete the number, block him on Twitter, block him on Facebook. Anytime somebody says their name, walk away. And WBN says, what? The Steelers got another pass rusher? They already had TJ Watt and Highsmith. Yeah, exactly. Why? I mean, I know why, right? The rich get richer. But why? Why? So when you add a player like Preston Smith, right? He was drafted back in 2015, so I think about 31, 32 years old. I'm looking through my Pittsburgh Steelers news, and I don't see anything injury report-wise about Highsmith or TJ Watt or Cam Hayward or trying to think of the other linebacker. They got like Patrick Queen there and Alex Highsmith. I don't see anything about them on the injury report. So when you add somebody like Preston Smith, it's simply just adding pieces that you don't really need. I love the Mike Williams trade. I'm not too fond of this Preston Smith trade. And also, what are the Packers doing giving up their defensive end? Something smells fishy. Something smells like we're not getting the full story. Why is this happening, right? Because the Packers have had one of the best defenses in the NFL this season, right? Multiple turnovers for 6 straight games, right? The reason why they're getting multiple turnovers is because of the pass rush, is because of the pressure, right? I'm looking at their depth chart now, and do the Packers bring somebody in to replace Preston Smith? I don't know. John says they're loading up. They are loading up, but they're already loaded. It is like you have the whole spinning 9 bullets in there, and you're trying to stick one in there, and you don't know where to put it. That's kind of where I see Preston Smith. Where does he fit? I don't know. What do you guys think? Where do you think Preston fits into this Steelers defense? I don't know it. James Frank says, "Don't say it. Don't say what? The Browns suck." I'm kidding. But something that I don't want to say, something that I don't really want to talk about, but we're going to talk about, and that's the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, they did snap their 2-game losing streak on Sunday Night Football versus the Indianapolis Colts. Yes, they did improve to 6-2 on the season to keep pace in the NFC and, of course, the NFC North. Yes, they did finally have a complete game yet again. And yes, they did get a couple pass rushers and some sacks and whatever. So let me ask you guys this. Is it going to be an overreaction if I said that the Minnesota Vikings will not lose in the month of November? That's right, month of November. 4 wins in a row. Get back on track. Be the first team to 10 wins. Can they do it? When you look at the Minnesota Vikings right now, guys, they're 8th in the NFL in points per game. They're 13th in yards per game. They're 6th in points per play. That's right. For every play, there's 50% chance they're going to score a point. 6th in the NFL. They're 9th on third down conversions. They're 7th in red zone touchdown percentage. And they're 6th in touchdowns per game. But it gets even better. Their defense, 7th ranked in the points per game. 4th in points per play. 8th in yards per play. 4th in third down conversions. 3rd and 4th down conversions. And 10th in touchdown per games. And, of course, their red zone defense is a little sus, right? A little sus. 23rd in the NFL. The next 3 games, they do play the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tennessee Titans, and the Chicago Bears, all of which are on the road. Let's just point that in there. They're all on the road. 3 road games in a row. Jacksonville Jaguars, 18 points per game, 18th in points per game, 21st in yards per game, 30th in third down percentage. They're giving up 28 points per game, which is 30th in the NFL. 31s in opponent's yards per play. 31st in opponent's red zone touchdown scoring. Jaguars are not very good. That's probably a dub. Titans, they're 27th or lower and ranked in the NFL in every offensive major stat category. There's not one offensive stat category that the Tennessee Titans offense is ranked over 27th. And their defense, 27th in opposing points per game. They are first in yards per game. Their defense doesn't give up a lot of yards. That means their special team sucks. They're 31st in points per play. They're giving up a lot of points. And they can't keep people out of the red zone either. 26th in opponents' red scoring. Now the Chicago Bears, a little bit better. 4th in red zone scoring, but the 31st in third downs. 22nd in points per play. 19 in points per game. 5th in opponents' scoring per game. 12th in opponent's yard per game. And 3rd in red zone scoring. So, is it an overreaction to say, guys, that the Minnesota Vikings will not lose in the month of November? They've already beaten the Indianapolis Colts. I think that must have been Halloween night. No, that was not Halloween night. It would have been November 2nd. So they've already beaten the Colts. Play the Jaguars, play the Titans, they play the Bears. So for this not to be an overreaction, they have to go to Jacksonville, beat the Jaguars, go to Nashville and beat the Titans, and then go to Chicago and beat the Bears. Can they do it? They can. Will they? No. They will not do that. So, guys, this is an overreaction. This is an overreaction that the Minnesota Vikings will not lose in the month of November. I know. I said it once, and I'll say it again. I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop for the Minnesota Vikings. I'm waiting for that other shoe to drop. Sam Darnold has been playing out of his mind. I'm waiting for him to fumble. Waiting to throw him that costly interception. I'm waiting for the defense to stop being great. And I think it starts next week, honestly. It starts next week versus Jacksonville Jaguars. Jacksonville Jaguars are terrible on defense every stretch of the imagination. I bet you the Minnesota Vikings are looking past it. Oh, that's a nice little easy 1 o'clock trip to Jacksonville. We'll come up and play our C game. Tank Bigsby's going to come out and ball out. Tank Bigsby is going to be that guy. They might get him back on track for a game, but Laura's right. When they lose in bunches, and they could lose the next 3. Let me guys ask a question. Is it an overreaction to think that the Minnesota Vikings will not lose for the rest of the month of November? Terry Williams, what's up, Terry? Says, what's the schedule looking like? They play the Jaguars, Titans, and Bears the next 3 weeks. And he's saying win, and maybe a loss to Chicago. They're definitely favored in the Jaguars and Titans game, but don't sleep on them, right? Do not sleep on them. John says they're second in their division. They are. Soon to be 3rd or 4th place. Let's just be honest. And says overreaction any given Sunday. You're right, overreaction. And the defense is pretty damn good, dude. The Vikings defense is fairly good, right? They are only giving up 7th in the NFL in points per game, 4th in points per play. They're 4th and 3rd down conversions for the opponents, right? They're a really, really good defense. The only thing bad about them is when teams do get into the red zones, they do give up a lot of touchdowns. Vikings defense has played a role in their current success. They have. But when the defense starts to fail, the rest of the team fails. That's what I'm saying. Wait for the other shoe to drop, right? Wait, I need to see more from Sam to have faith in him. And the Chicago Bears beat him out there, says John. Potentially. All righty, here. Some more breaking news across the NFL landscape. The Dallas Cowboys have released cornerback Andrew Booth to make room for Jonathan Mingo. So not only do the Cowboys add a receiver that they did not need, they released defensive players that they desperately need. Oh, boy. All right, guys. So far today, we've seen Za'Darius Smith go to Detroit Lions. We've seen Preston Smith go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. We've seen Jonathan Mingo go to the Dallas Cowboys. We've seen Khalil Herbert from the Bears go to the Bengals. We've seen Mike Williams go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and Marshawn Lattimore go to the Commanders pending physicals. Out of those 5 to 6 trade guys, who do you think has been the most eye-raising trade? Like, man, that was a great trade. I mean, obviously, Za'Darius Smith was a great trade. But if you look at it from me perspective, Mike Williams is a big deal. Mike Williams was kind of shocking to me. Like, what? But I'm asking you guys the question. Who do you think was the biggest trade? Mike Williams to the Steelers, Za'Darius Smith to the Lions, Preston Smith to the Steelers, Marshawn Lattimore to the Commanders, or Khalil Herbert to the Cincinnati Bengals. Who do you guys think the biggest trade was so far today? We got, an hour left until the trade deadline is over. I'm scrolling through my notes, see if anything else has come up while we've been talking. I don't see anything. A lot of people talking about the Preston Smith thing. Why? The Vikings are signing free agent kicker John Parker, Romo. So there's some news. Vikings are adding a kicker. I don't know why, but they're adding a kicker. It is what it is. WN says the Steelers picking up Preston Smith and Mike Williams is huge. It is huge. That is division winning huge, isn't it? And we forgot about the Ravens picked up Deontay Johnson, which I think was still kind of a dumb move. But when you score 50 some odd points to following week. Is it really a dumb move? Still think the Ravens need some defensive help. They got an hour to see if they can add some defensive help. See if they can get a edge rusher. Maybe they can call the Steelers like, hey, what do you want for Highsmith? That's not going to happen. No divisional trades at all. But Steelers, I think I'm with you on like on that. James Frank says Za'Darius Smith to the Lions is huge. John is in agreement with the Lions is huge as well. I mean, yes, that is very, very huge. So, yeah. Psych, breaking news from Ant says, breaking news, Raven just got Micah Parsons. Psych, I'm speaking it into existence. So, Ant, let me ask you this question. What would you be willing to give up for a Micah Parsons? Because obviously Micah Parsons is a big name. He has done decent things in his NFL career. He has 1 year left on his rookie deal. What would you be willing to give up for him? Is it 2 first-round picks? Is it 3 first-round picks? Is it a running back? Like, what would you be willing to give up for somebody like Micah Parsons? Because I think the Dallas Cowboys need to trade Micah Parsons, honestly. I think that Cowboys need to trade Zach Martin, Tolbert, Brandon Cooks, pretty much anybody over the age of 33. The Dallas Cowboys need to trade. But I think Micah Parsons is a valuable piece for a lot of teams. But I think the Cowboys need to trade him off and do a total rebuild. What would teams be willing to give for Micah Parsons? The Ravens with Micah Parsons would be awesome, I think. The edge rusher that you need. Micah Parsons is not a run stopper by any stretch of the imagination, but he's definitely a pass disruptive guy. So what would you give up for Micah Parsons? That's the real question. And James says that would be crazy. I'm trying to look up a Micah Parsons trade value. What would that be? Micah Parsons trade value. Oh, let's see what people are saying about his trade value. Trade value on the open market would be 6.4, which ranks him 43rd amongst the 405th overall. His maximum trade value 6 days 12.0. So that doesn't tell me nothing. I think that's fantasy football. I don't know what fantasy football is. Whatever. $200 million trade, people are saying. $200 million trade. So if I read this article correctly, it would be a trade up to $200 million is what they would have to give up for a Micah Parsons. So we're looking at like 3 first-round picks, what it comes down to. 3 first-round picks is what Micah Parsons is valued at. Ant says a second-rounder, Brandon Stevenson's, and a 2025 third-rounder. I don't think that is enough, to be honest. I don't think that is enough for Micah Parsons. But he might be walking for free. Let's just be honest. He might be walking for free. Roquan Smith for Micah Parsons. I don't think that is a fair trade at all, John. I don't think that is remotely considerable balance at all. Drew says Parsons and Prescott are 46 of the Cowboys' capital. CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott are 46 of the Cowboys' salary cap. James or Drew. I'm sorry. And James is like, I'm over here sweating to hear about Noku, Jarek, and Chubb's name. I don't think it will happen, but the Browns. I have heard Njoku name get thrown out a lot, right? I've heard Njoku's name get thrown out a lot for the Browns. But going back to the Ravens, Micah Parsons, 3 first round picks. Be 3 first round picks. James says the trade deadline's at 4 o'clock, right? Yeah, we got 1 hour. 1 hour till the trade deadline. Casey says, have the Chiefs traded for that cornerback? I have not heard anything yet. Nothing has come across my board yet. I have. So I wrote a script where like all the major insiders come to one SharePoint page here, and I see it and see what's going on. I have not seen nothing about the Chiefs yet. People are just talking about the Steelers still, about why they did Preston Smith thing, and that is all I'm seeing right now. Drew says, my bad. No worries, Drew. I'm just correcting you. Micah Parsons is still on his rookie deal through 2025. James Frank says they come out and said that Njoku is a part of their future, so I think he's safe. All wordplay, James. All wordplay. You always want people to feel welcome and wanted, but behind the scenes, you're probably working the phones digitally. Because when you look at the tight end, right, I think Jordan Atkins for the Browns is the future. I mean, I know he's 32, 33 years old or whatever he is. He's an older receiver, but what has Njoku done for you? Not a whole lot. Y'all are pretty old. Y'all are pretty old. But I would take I'll get Njoku out. Casey Morgan, nope, the Commanders got him. You talk about Lattimore, right? Yeah, so Marshawn Lattimore did go to the Commanders. The Buffalo Bills are looking to cut a cornerback, so maybe the Chiefs can make that play because Watson is out with the broken ankle for another 5 to 6 weeks. His backup, Williams, is out as well with some type of sprained ankle. James Frank says, Tyreek Hill back to Kansas City? No. Not before the trade deadline, that is for sure. And to be honest, I wouldn't want Tyreek Hill back in the Kansas City Chiefs uniform. Not because he's not a dominant player, not because he's not a great player, is the fact that the only thing good that Tyreek Hill has is his speed. He's not great at route running. He's 5'5". He's not a big body receiver. He is fast, and he can just out quick people. And he's getting up in age, right? He's 31, 32 years old. And once he loses that step, he's not worth anything. So keep him in Miami. Let them rot. Again, it's the Browns trying to save face if nothing happens. If I am the Browns, right, you've already let Za'Darius Smith go. Traded him, right? What did it end up being, like a fourth rounder or third rounder, right? It would not shock me if people are on the phone right now with the Browns saying, hey, what do you want from Nick Chubb? What do you want from Myles Garrett? It would not shock me, right? One bit. I think Myles Garrett is safe. He is a person you build around. Nick Chubb is not. Nick Chubb is not safe because you do have other pieces a part of that running back room that you can add. Nick Chubb has been nothing to write home about this season, so maybe greener pastures is on for him. But I'm looking at other pieces on that defense. I'm looking at Devin Bush. I'm looking at Ward and Juan Thornhill, Greg Newsome. I would say none of your defensive starters are safe. Everybody is for sale at this point if I'm the Cleveland Browns. Everybody on my defense is for sale. Nick Chubb is for sale. Jerry Jeudy, Elijah Moore, and David Njoku is all for sale. Like, the whole team is for sale if I'm the Cleveland Browns. James, like, Greg Newsome can go. Greg Newsome can go. Which is weird because I thought he had a pretty decent season last year, right? He's still on his rookie deal. I don't know. It's tough to say. But, guys, I am going to end the show here. My dog is going crazy, and the Vikings officially have signed kicker John Parker Romo. But I'm going to end it. I got basketball practice, got to get the little man to basketball practice, and the dog's going crazy. And just got some stuff to do. But with that being said, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. We'll do the full 2 hours tomorrow. I'll have more prepped, more ready to go. We're going to talk about we're going to dive deeper into these moves, right? It is hard to speculate what these moves are going to be without doing some research and all that stuff. I don't have somebody in my ear saying, oh, this happened, whatever. But it is what it is. Until next time, guys, we'll see you at 1:30 East Coast time. We out.